give him 3? Let's give 3 takeaways.
Let's do it.
All right, here's how this works. I'm going to give you 3. Start with number 1. Here's my number 1 observation from Saturday's game. It wasn't about Brock Bowers. It wasn't about C.J. Allen. It was about Carson. I don't think Carson Beck is flashy enough to win a Heisman in 2023. Okay, I think he's just too quote-unquote boring to most people. And you know how I know? He was 12 for 13 for 235 in the first half of Saturday's game. And you would have just thought he was out there playing catch. You know, I mean, he doesn't hold the ball long enough to make flash plays. He doesn't scramble around like a chicken with his head cut off. He just kind of plays on script the whole time. He just kind of does what is required to make the right answer over and over again offensively. I really don't know. I'm fascinated by the way he plays. I know I am, but I don't think national analysts are. I think national analysts are just like, yeah, he's doing good. He's playing well. You know, he's completing 73% of his balls almost. He's top 10 in passing yardage, right? He's leading the best team in the nation offensively in terms of a well-rounded football player. I'm fascinated by him, but I think other people might think he's relatively boring. I looked at it today. Now, Peyton Manning was a relatively boring type of football player, but he put up not boring stats. Peyton Manning has 5 MVPs. Tom Brady has 3. Okay, so like if you want to do it that way, Tom Brady was very similar in this fashion where he was very boring to watch. He always got the ball out of his hand on time. He always took the answer that the defense was giving to him. He never waited around for anything absolutely like wow type of plays. I don't know who he reminds me of again, whether it be Brady or whether I saw Matt Ryan today on social media. I didn't think that was a terrible comp, to be 100% honest with you. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he reminds me of, but I do know for a fact I don't think he's flashy enough to win the Heisman Trophy unless he shoots out against Bama and wins and throws for like 450 yards, which is very, very plausible. But he's going to have to put up gaudy statistics because he's not going to have a flashy highlight tape. And that's the only way to win the Heisman nowadays, it seems like. Both put up great stats and have these wow type of moment plays. But again, I just don't know if he's going to do that. Number 2, this offensive line should win the Joe Moore Award. I talked about it earlier in the show. They're insane. I think 63, 69, 65, 53, 56, and 71, I think they're all NFL starters. Cedric Van Pran's going to play on Sundays. Tate Ratledge is going to play on Sundays. Amarius Mims going to be a first-round draft pick. Dylan Fairchild, by the time he's done, might be a first-round draft pick. Michael Morris going to play on Sundays. Ernest Green going to play on Sundays. Okay, I think Xavier Truss is going to be a spot starter in the league because he can play all 5 positions. I think Monroe Freeling, the moment he gets an opportunity to play, I think he's going to be a Sunday guy. This offensive line over the last 4 or 5 weeks has put together a stretch and a run of football games that, in my opinion, is kind of unparalleled in this sport right now. Just the way how well-rounded they are and how much of an upright presence they're giving Carson Beck in that pocket. Number 3, Dalen Everett's your weak link, okay? It took me 11 weeks to kind of fold here and give it to you, but he is. And here's the good news about that. If you're going to have a weak link, you can only attack one corner so often, all right? And you got straight-up Bondo back there. If he's a leak in the boat, you got Flex Seal back there in 22 and 24. So y'all are going to be okay. Boys, those are my 3. Give them 3. Who's up?
Well, going right off of that, this is the best secondary in college football. Just watching them every single week, it feels like you see something even more special about them. You learn something new. You get to see a little different wrinkle of them, and they continue to impress every single week. It's a joy to watch them. We knew that the safeties were going to be great when you bump back Javon Bullard back there and Malachi Starks going into his second year. But the way Julian Humphrey was playing before his injury, the way Kamari Lassiter has played this year, Tyke Smith, the way he's emerged this year, that secondary is so much fun to watch. And we're going to get a really good look at them in the closing minutes of the season. Second one, Ladd McConkey is worth whatever draft pick you think he is worth of a skill player and a wide receiver of his caliber. He is worth a first-round pick, whatever you want to say. He's worth every dollar you would pay him as well. We've seen it against every single opponent. The yards after the catch, the route running tree is there. Everything that dude does is special. He makes plays every single week. He shows up every single week. That dude is worth whatever you want to give him in the NFL. And the third one, Brock Bowers' injury might have been the best thing to happen to this offense. And I don't mean that in a bad way, obviously. I don't think that, obviously, if you can have 19 out on the field, you want him. But I think it's kind of allowed these other guys, like we got to see more of Rob Thomas. We got to see some more of Ladd McConkey as he was continuing to build confidence after his injury. Every single, even Marcus Rasimi-Jacksaint, I mean, every single player, I think his absence kind of made us lean on some other guys. And I think it's kind of built into this new confidence of what makes him so special now.
Hey, Jay Will, give him 3. What you got?
Dude, this is the first time I think ever where none
Straight
of us
clean?
have had. Yeah, none of us
Straight
have gotten
clean. We're gonna
anything
start
taken.
letting you go first.
Please.
You know, I
So-
feel bad for you. You always hitting cleanup. Go ahead.
It's all good. My first takeaway was Kendall Milton and Dejon Edwards are starting to look a lot like Sony Michel and Nick Chubb did back in the prime days, where you have that one guy who's the bruiser who can still gash you for deep runs, but then you have the quick guy who's hard to tackle as well. That 1-2 combo is so deadly, and it's kind of what Georgia was famous for, but they've started to really look like that. And I don't think you've had that kind of running back room as of late.
Me like you.
So that's good. Carson Beck has started to add his legs to his game, where it's not people, said back at the start he was a statue. Oh, he's Tom Brady, comps like that. He started to take off more. He's starting to be willing to run the ball more. He's keeping the ball a little more on zone reads. He's not like Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels or anything like that, but it's just enough to keep a defense honest.
I think Kirk ripped a stat on Saturday's broadcast, something like he's had 7 scrambles this year, all 7 for first downs.
Wow.
Something like that. And you're right. It's been much more decisive over the last several weeks. As soon as he sees grass, he's like, let's go. And it's so funny because he was decisive with his arm at the moment he started playing football for Georgia, but it's taken a little bit for him to become that decisive with his legs. You're 100% correct.
And then the third and final one I have, Mike Bobo is owed a massive apology by Georgia fans. People were dragging that man for the first 4 weeks. People said, oh, Mike, he has no idea what he's doing. This is terrible. Fire Mike Bobo. I know Terrence Edwards loves to have that hashtag out, but 611 yards against a number 9 team in the country, and you put up 50 points in November? Come on.
Dude. This is one thing I will not miss about sitting in the student section at Sanford Stadium. There were people behind me still giving Mike Bobo crap, even after Georgia put up 50 points against Ole Miss. Until finally someone turned around and was like, buddy, have you even been watching this year? Do you even understand what they are doing this year on offense? So, man.
I thought this was the best photo taken by Joshua Jones on Saturday. This is Mike Bobo's face after dropping 50 points on Ole Miss. Okay, I don't know who he's hugging right there, but my man's is extremely happy that all you guys are hating on his ass for making $1.5 million to score 45 points a game. Like, that's wild. I don't get it. I know Terrence, like you said, Terrence keeps having fun with it on Twitter. I don't know what it is about him. Maybe it's because he just, I don't know. Normally Georgia fans don't hate their own. Like, Georgia is a place that look at the school, look at the program. The program is filled with nothing but UGA alums. Walk around that building, it's filled with nothing but people who used to go to school there. That's who works there. Like, it is very much so we take care of our own. And then maybe just inside the building, maybe inside on campus. Maybe it's not like that with the fan base, I guess. But on campus, that's it, bro. If you don't have a UGA degree, you know how hard it is to get to that building? Like, man, it's like a 4-year journey. They make you do everything. Damn near change your wardrobe and cut your hair. Like, it's nuts. It's really, really hard. But no, they normally protect their own. Not here. You're right.
I think from a internal organizational standpoint, absolutely they protect their own. From a fan base standpoint, no. They hate you until you leave, then you come. Like, Stetson got a standing ovation at that game on Saturday. You remember what he was going through 2 years ago.
Bro, the tweet of me announcing that he was returning for a 6th year, the comments on that.
Oh, I know.
The comments are comical. One day we ought to just go back and read them. It's like, F this. Why is Kirby letting this bum come back? Like, just all kinds of vitriol.
People blamed him for the reason Jermaine Burton transferred, and now they trash Jermaine Burton like he's the scum of the earth. So it's funny. It's just funny how history rewrites itself in that way.
Did we give you 3?
I don't think so.
Hey, that boy Kirby, give him 3.